Hello, I'm reviewing another episode of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's a TV show that lasts for 2 seasons. This episode's called Meet Captain America. Where the focus is mainly just Captain America and Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes, meant to say, and Captain America mainly focuses on who Bucky Barnes will become in later episodes, the Winter Soldier. And unlike the movie, he doesn't get mind control. He just develops a grudge to Steve for not saving him from being tortured by Hydra. In the comic, which was more faithful to the comics than the actual Winter Soldier, where it just does the typical, oh, he's not really evil, he's just mind controlled. Ooh, that's so interesting when we heard that story. We heard that, come on, it's the same bold crap we heard a million times. The bad guy's not evil, he's just mind controlled and getting manipulative, and he's not the one, and he's like, it just feels, it's like, I guess what bothers me about the Winter Soldier movie, one thing that really bothers me about Winter Soldier movie, besides Captain America not feeling like Captain America, like the January article, is that the Winter Soldier doesn't really feel like a genuine article, because instead of sticking with the story that was from that was very unique story of the tell for cinema, which is more faithful to the which would have been more faithful to the comics. Besides, more interesting we scrap the comic storyline of Winter Soldier, of what makes Winter Soldier tick, is now mind control instead of him just developing a grudge towards Steve. Like in the comics, it's like that he more like resents Steve because Steve didn't save him from getting tortured by Hydra and getting turned into Winter Soldier. So he started to resent Steve, which was also his best buddy in the comics and in the movies and every adaptation. So, a lot of people people say that the gave like how it doesn't. I hear some people make the dumbass comment that the Winter Soldier movie in the MCU has the character of the Winter Soldier has more depth and has more added depth to him. But personally, I think the opposite happened. I think this got less interesting because part of that reason is because they told the same story that got bored the first few million times you heard it, about this happening to the villain, or this happening to one, that our hero will go up against, It's just, it feels like, it's like, I guess it doesn't mind. What bothers me is that they went for such a cliche, they had something unique, and they changed the Winter Soldier's story from the comics and its characters so dramatically, and they didn't really. And I think what bothers me, they went with this brainwash formula that makes them evil, and instead of pretty much anything else would have been a better idea than that, and would have been less generic and pretty much forgettable character, because they went with the whole brainwashing crap in the MCU. So, anyway, I just want to comment on that for briefly. So this episode is about focus on is also, besides building up Bucky Barnes, instead of showing Bucky Barnes of focus on Bucky Barnes, and it does focus on Bucky Barnes and Captain America, Steve Rogers' Captain America, but also heavily focused on Kane the Conqueror. You understand where he's coming from and why he wants to well, why he needs to kill the Avengers because, destroy Captain America. Then he has to fight all the Avengers and losing in later episodes. So, yeah, you find out the reason why. He wants to eliminate Captain America out of the equation is because, well, he wants to avenge his wife and the world that got faded from existence because of the new timeline, because of the timeline, and somehow Steve survived and is still alive in the 21st century, and well, sometime it's like in the 20th century, well, in modern time basically, and so he wasn't. So because Steve has survived the 20th, made it to present time, is affecting Kane's world, Kane's future. And also affects King's wife, to a point that he is now the last of his kind, the last people that's from his future, the last person that's from his future, and so he wants to get it all back. Yeah, well, he's like going to get the reason why he's also his wife that you can clearly tell he loves a lot is well, his last person to die in Kane's future of his world that takes place very far in the distant future. So anyway, Kane's analyzing the time that Captain America supposedly died, around the same time Bucky supposedly died, and he can't figure out the last events that took place in 1940s or 50s. That was the last time he was an active hero as Captain America, and pretty much won the war because of him. What's funny is he won the war because of it. His country won the war, but Captain America went missing, and so did Bucky Bomb. Supposedly they both dead, but King can't figure out why is he in modern time, in a more distant future after 1950s or 40s. When it shows that he clearly died, and King just trying to figure out how it's possible, and so he's analyzing. He has this time travel machines where he's allowed to not just watch time but enter the timeline. So he's analyzing time from a bunch of different angles, and he can't figure out why Captain America's made it to the Avengers time in the present day, which is Kane's past, and it's weird, and he finds the reason what happened is Steve, he got frozen on ice. He got frozen in ice and somehow didn't die. Bucky so the mission was to, Bucky and Steve's last mission together was to stop the Red Skull. And Bucky, I like this part when Bucky almost sees Kang the Conqueror, but he could sense his presence, but didn't go out and look at him because Kane already left that teleported far away from Bucky's location. So he could have gotten caught and could have accidentally changed the timeline. So the mission, Bucky's last mission together, and it was the Howling Commandos. That's Captain America's crew, except unlike in the comics and also in the cartoons. Yes, they actually called the Howling Commandos, unlike the first Captain America movie when just called when you're just supposed to expect, but who they are, and also Wolverine, Logan makes an appearance, makes his debut in the series, in this episode, and he is a member of the Howling Commandos. See, in the comics, Wolverine, before he was Wolverine and joined the X-Men, he was already part of a team called the Howling Commandos from 1940s or 50s. From whenever World War I took place. Or was it World War II? It was 1950s or 1940s, I think. It was and he didn't, unlike Steve, he didn't got frozen on ice or anything, he just kept on living. And the reason why he looks the way he does, because, well, here's the thing, and you're probably confused, so if you're not familiar with Combo Lord, well, you see, Wolverine does age, he just ages a lot slower than, humans, because of his genetics, because of his mutant gene, that's also known as the X gene. So, yeah. But here's my problem with the movies. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, is that they said he doesn't age. They literally said he can't age. Not that he ages slower than compared to you and I. They said he just doesn't age at all. Yet in Days of Future Past, we see him starting to develop silver hair. And then when you get to Logan, he's all white hair and has a white beard. It's okay. It's like, this doesn't make any sense when you, in the long run. I guess the one like playing on doing as many Wolverine films and aging him up in the future or ever. It's just like, this is not even making sense because I don't have problems with Wolverine getting white hair and a white beard because he has had in the comics. He also had some silver hair on the sides in the comics when he still had dark hair. But here's my problem why I think that Colin Wolverine works and Hugh Jackman one doesn't. When you get break down the timeline, is that Hugh Jackman in the first X-Men film, they said that Wolverine it's impossible for him to age because it's his DNA. But in the comics, they said no, it's not that he can't age, it's that he just ages a lot slower than other mutants or humans. So it's like, and I wish they would was that saying. I mean, because this is why I think with one of the problems why I have the X-Men franchise. I don't think you fully thought this through, and that's a huge plot hole in the in that world. So he's like, that's just makes me ask too many. It just makes me ask questions like, why? So yeah, so it's kind of stupid, you know? When you really look at it, it bothers me that no one ever talks about this. Like, of all the problems they have with the X-Men film, that's the, like, you ever seen Volume Drive is perfect. It's like, written well and acted well is far from it, but the other thing, Volume Drive seems to be the worst about the, Fox's X-Men franchise. And part of the reason, part of the besides Hugh Jackman is Wolverine most times, feeling like this, not really giving that much of an impact on the film or leaving that good impression on, you basically just gives a forgettable performance as Wolverine most of the time, is that it's the writing also, because you say Wolverine can age, yet you clearly see that he's aging. So yeah. Anyway, so the Howard Commandos, Bucky Barnes, and Captain America in this episode. Back to this episode called Meet Captain America. Take down the Red Skull, but supposedly Bucky Barnes and Captain America died. Cap died drowning in the negative water, and that's surrounded by ice and snow. I don't know if that's the South Pole or the North Pole, okay? That's why I'm not saying the exact location. I suppose it's somewhere where the, Bucky supposedly dies in an explosion, and after kicking Captain America off the rocket to save his life. And his last words, Captain America says that he's sorry, but the world needs Captain America a lot more than needs Bucky Barnes. And this is after the Red Skull escapes from the rocket. And this is also after Bucky disobeys the direct order from Captain America because they're partners. And so, I mean, Bucky says, yeah, I know, I did something stupid, I disobeyed order, but we're partners, right? And, Captain America smiles to Bucky and says, let's finish this. So yeah, it's kind of that's as much as the story is, and it ends with, Kang delivering this epic monologue, making a promise to his wife at his world, and his wife disappears, and for discovering that Captain America just survived that drowning because that's how he made it to modern present time, is because he got frozen. So he decides to correct history and to save his world and his wife and get it all back. So he makes once his wife disappears from existence, he ends with him giving this epic vowing vengeance for his wife and his world, and his mostly vowing vengeance to his wife. He says, I promise you, my beloved, I will get our world back, even if I have to conquer all worlds to get it back. In other words, he's going to get back no matter the cost. So, and that's the end of that episode. That's how it ends. So, I really like this episode. Called Meet Captain America. I give it a 10 out of 10, the episode. Which is episode 4, I believe, of season 1.